I guess to everyone. Today, as I always like to say, is my time. And we are with us Benny Braaten from Folket Bortafor Nordavinden. I said it right? Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah, very good.
It's a
Hello,
pleasure to have.
everybody.
How are you, Benny, first of all?
No, I'm good. I'm a little tired today, but I'm good.
It's good to
So,
know.
yeah,
And
and you?
I'm fine, tired as well, but I'm fine and glad to finally have this opportunity to talk with you. And of course, to dig a little bit more your musical background, cultural background, and as well the album that has been released, of course. But of course, starting, of course, from the beginning, I want to say like who is Benny, but just a little bit speaking about your background, like it's in this case like your musical background, and if you add a little bit of cultural as well, because so of course brings you where you are right now.
Yeah. And I just start when I was a child. I mean, we're three brothers. You already know Kjell, my younger
Yeah.
brother. We have an older brother called Thur. We grew up on a farm, and we all started doing music when we were children, really. First thing I played was violin when I was, I think, mm,
It's,
9 maybe or something, and danced folk dance, and then later trombone, and then we started with the rock bands, and then
discovery.
so music has always been there, but I think also now maybe more now than before, or I don't know, maybe it's always been there. But I think this that we grew up on a farm, I think you can hear in it in a way.
Yes, yeah. Mainly, I think we what you can hear is I don't want to say the roughness, but you can hear like the primordial and the native sound of. But I want to specify for the people not native, like to belong in a place, but really that born in the field, grew up from the field. So like the purity of the sound itself.
Yeah.
That's something that, of course, like you were saying, for example, in Shell and Otis as well. But of course, it's all different. It's not the same. Like Runail, that it's all different sound. But you can hear all the same core, the genuinity, the pure, the ethereal sound. That's something that I really
Yeah,
noticed. Yeah,
maybe we're just all used to be by ourselves for a bit. I'm not saying that we're not social or that we're lonely or anything like
yeah.
that, but maybe we're all just used to being by ourselves, so we listen in a different way or something.
Yeah,
Maybe.
and yeah, and but of course, like you mentioned that you started with I don't know, let's say classical instrument to play, and then moved in some rock. Of course, just because it's poison rock, just let's just mention it just at the beginning, so we don't speak about it anymore. What about rock or hard rock or whatever type of music influenced you during at the beginning? Like,
My first self-discovered rock band was Kiss. Back in my first original cassette was
that's
I got for Christmas '91 was The Elder by Kiss, and I
okay.
still love that album.
That's
So
so you started, and of course you had before, of course, Folket, you had another project. I mean, that was more like say more your own personal project as well.
yeah, I've been in a lot of projects. I played in a whole lot of rock bands as well.
Yeah.
So
So I mean, and of course, being in a rock band, and then let's say coming back to basically where you started. So why and how? What was it the process that brings you from and having a rock band and coming back to the we can say the purity of it of the music.
uh, I remember very well when the main part of that transition back, in a way, if you want to call it that, happened.
Yeah,
Because with the Origami Galactica, which I guess you
yeah,
were referring to, I've been doing, for those that don't know that, I've been doing ambient soundscapes since the '90s, mid '90s.
yeah.
Released quite a few records and toured a lot. I played Italy many times, and but I went on a tour in Canada, and
Okay.
to make it easy, I was thinking, okay, I was going to try to use the laptop as my main thing, just to have less weight to carry. And then when I was doing it, I mean, it was a great tour, but
Yeah,
for me to sit there with a laptop, it was boring. So I tried everywhere. It wasn't that many shows, but I tried everywhere to get, to borrow a tom here or something, so I could do something. And then when I came home from there, I remember asking Gustav and another friend called Jon Gunnar, that were both in this Skvalder project and Evas before that you might have heard of. But I said, hey guys, you want to be my trio? Because I was always dreaming of doing acoustic ambient.
Yeah.
And I've done that now, also solo, total acoustic ambient, which I'm happy with. But then they joined me, so we did some shows as Origami Galactica Trio. Both some totally acoustic and some with some samples and stuff. But then I don't know, the start of how it became Folket was kind of just floating, I think. Because Skvalder, the project we had before, we were a lot of people, and I don't know, for various reasons, it seemed to kind of dissolve in a way.
Yeah,
and then
the
Folket came.
Yeah, because I mean, unfortunately, I couldn't witness to your performance in all this year, unfortunately, but I will. But for what I saw and what I heard, of course, I saw that, of course, there is other people, like, for example, Luna Hill, Espen, from Aldrin, for people doesn't know how Espen, and Gustav involved as well, Shell. I mean, and it's beautiful to see this connection there is between all of you, because it's like every one of them do something different. Astraceld as well do their own different, and as well you when you sing, but at the same time there is like an alignment. So I mean, I want to, like, how all of you, I mean, of course I know from Shal is a brother and all that, but all of you get in touch and discover your own, like, you can work together, like having this amazing alignment.
I think it just happened. I mean, we all met in Oslo when we were all living here sometime in the 90s. Going to the same clubs and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then we used to have a thing called Vortebeck Space Band. It's a wordplay for a far out space band. And we did everything from space rock jams with 7 people to free for all outdoor acoustic party jams with 70, 100 people with drums and lures and voices and flames and whatever. And then I remember, I don't know, I think it was maybe New Year's Eve 99 or something. Gustav had been asked if he could get some kind of music going on a party somewhere. I think in the role play community or something like that, or maybe some kind of also thru thing or something. And then he asked Kjell and this young Gunnar and a few other people, and they went there and they jammed the roof of the place. I think the main table in the party room broke because people were dancing on it,
Yeah, that's what happened with when I heard your music, is like as well a way, an expression, like, for example, dancing following the rhythm is an way, an expression, and as well a way of healing. That's what I felt through your music, and as well, like I said, to Shell and Luna, which has a lot of of course, there's different types of healing, because I think it gets into the core of each one. It's different for any individual, for any of us. And really, when I started to hear it, like we said before, certain interview, the drum, for example, it has an amazing healing power, and the voice as well. These both of you combined together, it's something that I think most of the people really underestimate. They don't understand so much, like in the Western society. And for you, for example, you experience that as well. This is what you think that is in the music of the sound, the melodies of Folket, like a healing sound, or is there another, for example, purposes as well, like entertainment?
I think there's the potential of a whole lot of great healing in good entertainment, first of all. But no, I think I've always done music for the same reason, and I think it's fun, okay, but I think I've always done music for healing. No matter what I played, if it's been extremely hard rock, that also has its cathartic
Yeah, it's kind of
properties,
way
you know.
of put out the anger mainly, the darkness, let's say, or the
Yeah,
anger, but like a healing, like facing the darkness and go through the light, you can say, quote unquote. I think it's more, I think it depends. For me, works more, for example, folk and the drum itself, even a tagalarpa sound itself in that case, a flute. But from the rock, I like, you use it when you are dancing and you stuff, and then it's more like an endorphin release, something like that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. If you have,
But it also
yeah.
has it also has great healing properties to it, you know.
Yeah.
So I think I've always had the same intention with things. You know, yeah, I've always
Yeah.
done music for healing, but
Yeah.
the drum and the voice is because, I mean, everybody has rhythm and everybody is frequency. So the
Yeah.
drum and voice,
Exactly.
there's no way you can avoid to feel it in a way. I don't
Yes.
say you have to like it. You know,
Yes.
you don't have to like it necessarily, but I think there's no way it doesn't touch you in a way, you know.
Exactly. Even if you are unaware of it, and you're
Yeah,
playing
yeah,
drums, and your other person is like, the person's like standing still with eyes closed, and you're just playing drum. I don't know, for people that believes in chakra, like in each chakra, for example, that person
yeah,
perceive it, and they then go maybe no shamanic journey or just simply dream or follow sleep.
yeah.
It's, yeah, it's something that it's really amazing. And about your voice, because I really like found out the sound of your voice, it's a really powerful healing tool as well. You always had this knowledge and of the knowing about like these you have this, can say, don't want to say tool or power, but these aspects of you, that you have this talent of having a healing voice.
No, absolutely not. It's been a long. It still is, but now I'm comfortable with it. But it's been a long journey for me, and I used to not open my mouth in front of people.
Really
So it's
was.
been, yeah. So it's been a real journey. So when people come to me and they're nervous, I've never been nervous to go on stage really. Or I remember one
Okay.
time back in '99 or something. So I'm not nervous to go on stage. I can be tense, but
Yeah.
I'm not nervous. But this singing thing, you know, it's so naked with the voice, and especially when,
That's so, yeah.
like now, you know, and on the markets, but also at Midgardsblot, you know, I'm standing there. I go down from the stage and I'm standing
Yeah.
there singing with just me and the microphone. I do that. I'm enjoying it, but I also do it because it's challenging, you know,
Yeah.
to expand the comfort
Always
zone.
go, exactly, always go out of the comfort zone, which is something that everyone should do at least here and there. Go out of
Yeah.
the comfort zone for singing,
Then,
for life.
yeah, then it grows, you know. But I'm also thinking if I was there as an audience, you know, I would like that, you know,
Yeah.
if somebody did that. I've never seen anybody do things the way we do it. I've never seen anybody do it like that. But I
No,
think I
that's
would
the
like it,
beautiful thing. That's the beautiful
you know.
things, because people can see you in between them, like around the bonfire, or and then they can see you on the stage.
Yeah.
And yeah, because I was looking for a friend of mine that was there. He was looking for maybe I don't know if it was Brunhild or you, and just said that he saw you 1 minute before at the bonfire, and the next day on the stage, and he was like, "These are like who are they?" And I had to explain to him that was like, "This is Benny, this is Brunhild." I sent you pictures so you can recognize them, because of
Yeah,
course
yeah.
that's the beautiful things, that you basically create a huge connection with the people around you, which could be musician, audience, everyone. I mean, there's no musical boundaries. It's like I always said that to Charles. It's like a big family. I felt that,
Yeah.
like, yeah, and I felt that, and the most amazing things that I saw all of between of you is this purity and this integrity, which is something that I never saw in my life in any type of friendship or relationship between people. Something really pure and calm and peaceful that gives you like this inner peace. So just even standing still here, I feel like calm. I can.
Mm.
We are basically doing a meditation interview. Yeah, so that's something beautiful, and of course, like we were speaking about Miniger's Blood and all, and of course, your album, let's say your project, your last work. I don't like to call it album because I think it's a collection of all your paths and journeys has been released. But of course, before that, put it in an album, you had as well other small releases here and there. I think you recorded as well other songs, other melodies before
with the
at live and before that. I think you released
released one album before called Sagna Mader.
Okay, and yeah,
2018, I think.
And just let's make like a sort of comparison because this is actually like a technique question that I have to say to do, which is mainly if we have to look to that first one, for example, and the last one that has been released in the, let me say, the technical side, there has been changes or just like follow the flow.
I mean, they're done in. I mean, the recordings, I've done them, most of them. Gustav has recorded him and Runahild and a little bit of my stuff on the new one. But apart from that, the recordings are mine on both the albums. The first one, Kjell, my younger brother, helped me. It was a big favor to mix it because I wasn't really I was in a place in life where I couldn't and I wouldn't do it really because there was more important stuff going on. And I felt happy. I had the demos, so the music had already come through me, and I thought, well, I can be happy with that, I don't know if I need to release an album of it, but then Kjell agreed to help me out, and he did it as a favor. So please support his work, buy his records.
Brothers.
That's a very cool thing. But on the new album, it was mixed by a Swedish guy in the end, and Oscar Nilsson. And I think the way we worked together was very nice. He really tried to meet me, and I understood that what he was asked to do was not an easy task. Because I think with folk in general, but at least I know on the new record, you cannot say it's going to sound like this. You cannot put up on a record for reference that sounds the same.
No, yeah, of course.
Because there is no record that sounds like it, I think.
And, each record is different. Yeah.
But that's also an interesting thing because I don't make this music for it to be different. I make this music because this is how the music is.
Exactly.
And when Arve from Grimfrost, the label, released these two records around the time of the first album, I don't know if it was before or after release, he said that nobody's heard a record like this before, he said. And I had never thought about it that way. Because to me, it just sounds, this is how it sounds.
Yeah.
And I think that's also cool because then, in a way, it's bigger than me, or it's bigger than the small me,
As well, when something touch really deep the persons that are the audience that is listening, that people tell like it's nothing that I ever listened before. It's like music is like, I think it's different for any other stuff. Is every music, every releases is different from any others, and even for going to a healing journey is different. Today I feel like I'm at live and is my releasing journey. Last year was Blotta. Last summer was Nebula releases. It's like all journey releases. It's just like healing path, which they take their own way. And of course, you need music and sound. Let's say just sound more than music, because even just a bit of hands can be music. You need a rhythm just to heal. Like we said, the drum, the teardrops is a healing sound. We have a lot of calming sound effects, which are for healing. So that's, I think, what at least I perceive by my point side. I say what my professional side, being as a naturopath point of view, that I put like a music, like I don't know, your album when I'm doing a session of naturopathy. and that helps the client, the patients, to go in a deeper level of meditation and calmness, even without noticing. So that's I always say to Shah, like every therapist, I don't know, every shamanic any healer should have this type of music, or at least play it as well, or doing both.
Yeah.
And of course, I wanted to know about the album that has been released, Work, how we want to call it, at Div Uten, and which, of course, I read it that you put it like the other translation, but there is no Italian, so I'm giving you the Italian version because in English is a life without end. Basically, it's like a cycle. Say it in Italian is una vita senza fine, which is basically a life without an end. So it's a cycle. So this topic as a cycle, we can basically it's kind of a topic, a concept album with. So what can you say about that? I give you the word because this is a really an important topic because there's a cycle. Everything has a beginning and an end, but then as well it starts again.
Yeah, I would maybe I agree, but I would say that nothing really has a beginning or an end. You know?
Okay.
It's just different stages.
Okay. So like the seasons, for example, could be something like that. Okay.
Yeah. I think so, and I believe in. I don't know how this functions, you know. I believe that, yeah, just like the title says, you know.
Yeah.
I believe we have one life, and this life is without end. But right now, I happen to have the pleasure of experiencing being Benny, you know, in this flesh vehicle that I am in, and I'm happy with this. You know, I really love this experience.
So like
I think I've also had no, I think that we've also, you know, I think I've had other experiences. I have in this life, I have seen things I experience to be from other lives also. So I think, yeah, I believe in the title, and I also believe
that we can experience.
It's nice if you can speak a little bit about the project and the whole package of the product, if you can call it that, the new record.
Yeah.
Because I realized this during the process of making it. It's not like I was sitting there in the beginning thinking, oh, I have this great project. You know?
Let's write it.
Yeah. No, it just happened.
Yeah.
And then when more of the lyrics had started coming and all this stuff, I was looking at it and I was like, and the title was already there. That was there before the first album. You know, I just got this title and I was like, oh, okay, I'll hang on to that one, you know. And Ginnungagap was also made, the basic demo was also made before the release of the first album. Because I remember walking around in the forest. I was living in a cabin in the forest at that time, and I got the mixes from my brother, you know. So I went walking in the forest, listening to them on the headphones, and giving feedback and stuff. And then I remember during 3 walks up there, I got these different parts. And then suddenly on the 3rd walk, I said, okay, wait a minute. This is okay. So I went home and I recorded the demo. And the track which is on the album is basically, it's just a re-recording of that demo with Gustav and Runhild also on it. It's the same thing. Even, I mean, it's better. But basically, it's the same thing. So it came there up in the forest. But with a Hagalar, for example, which was the single, for me, Hagalar is a very powerful rune. And I wasn't sure if
that's what I wanted to as well talk about that as well, like the rune, because rune is a commonly, like I can say, the Huhu New Age is more like a divination rune, but of course it has more a deep and spiritual and intense meaning for people that really understand them. Of course, it's all personal. Of course, I think as well, like a personal views and explaining of the rune itself. So and I noticed that in the album there are different tracks which recall certain name of certain runes. So and that's why I want to as well ask you. It goes more like in which views you saw that? Like with your point of view, of course, with your vision.
I don't know. Sometimes to have the runes, to talk about the singing part about it,
Yeah.
It's a comfortable way when you have the runes, because you
Yeah.
don't have to have all these words to remember and all that stuff,
Yeah.
But I'm thinking also, I'm not an expert on the runes, and I don't claim to be, absolutely not, but I'm sharing my journey. But to me, to speak about this Hagalarden, to me, that's a very powerful rune. And the transformation, and the crystal and process of water and all this stuff. But transformation, one part of transformation is that what is there has to give room for what is to come. If something is to transform, and very
like
often
the course of life, something like that.
Yeah. But for us as humans, it's this letting go is for many of us very, very challenging.
Yeah, I know something about it.
I mean, me too, by experience. Yeah, and that causes the transformation process to be difficult.
Yeah.
So I thought, I don't know if I dare to do this. And then suddenly I was living in Finland at the time. I met my girlfriend, and I moved to Finland. We were living in a cabin in the forest there by a lake, and sauna and ice bathing and everything.
Oh God, that's a paradise.
Yeah. So I recorded quite a bit of it there. We had two cabins, and one was the bedroom. So when we were awake, I put up the microphone. But some of the songs at least came there, and I remember sitting in the morning with my coffee out there at, I don't know, early in the morning, listening to the birds, and then Hagalar came, and I was like, okay, I picked up my phone. That's what I often do. I just film myself singing when something comes that I understand I should keep. And I did that, still have the video. But that's when I realized, okay, I will do it then. Okay.
It's taking shape. It's taking shape.
Yeah.
It's a transformation. We were speaking about the songs, which has, like we're saying, this rune and meaning that, of course, like you said, is more like the chanting while you're singing. It has a meaning. And of course, while I was saying that, there are different rune that you cited. Like, I don't know, that because I have run like an Algier Fehu, you just chose them because they have a meaning for you, or
I believe, or for me, it's more like on the whole album, the lyrics and everything. I'm still in a stage in my development or my journey, if you like, where I'm seeing it as very much it's coming through me.
Yeah. So it's a call from the rune itself.
Yeah, but not only the runes, also the other lyrics, the whole folky thing,
Yeah.
I believe I'm just doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I mean, you bothered to spend your evening speaking with me now, so I must be doing something right,
Yeah, I mean, that's what I like to do, and I think that I'm supposed to do something good as well, because I mean, being at home and instead, like you were saying, having a beautiful talk in the nature, or even in a festival and a concert gigs or something, but as well all the album, if you would like, for example, just say it by yourself, like you said, there is a journey, but it has a special meaning to you, like it goes deep in you, like in your own personal journey.
I mean, it is it is a part of, or a deep part of my personal journey. I've been working on this album. I'm usually saying it took me 3 years, but that's not really true, because as I told you, Ginnungagap, and also this song called Skeidsanger, which is number 9 on the CD. That one also was done before the first album. But apart from that, the rest of it very much came as one album. I understood it as stuff started coming, after Ginnungagap, and also the main chorus on the title track. The first chorus with words that come in there, and this part. that I also had before the first album, you know, when Kjell was doing the mixing, as I was saying. And then I think it was at that time I realized that there was going to be, you know, more.
Yeah.
Something
to tell.
Yeah, but the concept I didn't understand, because now I'm seeing it. It's almost like a concept album, you know. But I didn't have this concept. You know, this came. I saw it when I was, you know, getting quite far into the process of recording it and all this stuff. And I was listening to it. I was like, whoa, okay. This I didn't see, you know.
It's like when you're writing a novel, maybe you start to write, you don't know maybe what is the main topic of your writing, and then after a little bit say, okay, I'm writing, I don't know, a poem. That is what I if I'm not wrong, I heard some poems as well in your album.
Yeah. But it's all. I think that's, you know, that's one of the most enjoyable things for me with the whole thing, because now I mean, hey, I'm thinking I made a choir record, you know. I'm not a singer, I'm not a drummer. I made a choir record with drums, you know. And
that's the most amazing thing. I mean, and yeah.
So I guess I am in a way a drummer and a singer by now, but I didn't used to be that, you know. I was a bass guitar player, you know.
Me too. It's there.
Yeah.
It's there. Yeah, it's there. The bass.
Cool.
And I did the same things. I moved to the.
What kind of bass do you have?
Is wait, an Epiphone Thunderbird.
Okay. Ah, nice.
Yeah, I want to play Motley Crue.
Yeah. I was a huge Motley fan.
Yeah. But now I moved. White Side. Yeah. Or White Snake, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen both.
Oh, like. I'm kind of trying to gravitate around the White Snake right now, because I want to grab them for an interview before they will completely retire. So I'm navigating between all of the like singer, like a bass player, drummer, guitarist to catch the main character, which is not easy, of course. Yeah. But of course, my core. Yeah.
I saw White Snake on what was it? Slip of the Tongue tour. Was, I guess, 1990 or something. In
you saw them with Rudy Sarso then, I guess, was the bass player.
CY and Adrian Vandenberg, I think he was
Andrew
still
Vandenberg.
Yeah, and Tommy Aldrich and David.
Yeah. The formation with Rudy, Yeah,
they played with Poison and Choir Boys.
But that's, I mean, it's an, of course, for example, their music, they have kind of power of healing. For example, you were right. I have to say that you were right. They have kind of healing, because, for example, like, you know, the things about this music, when they say they have almost the same concept: a broken heart, healing from a broken heart, and that actually can help you, because you understand that you're not the only one feeling that thing. For example. In that case, yes. But
But I'm thinking when we're talking about that, it's going to be a little bit off. But I'm thinking all this, and I mean, David Coverdale is absolutely guilty of that. You know, all these love songs, all these broken heart songs. As a friend of mine said, you know, the heart is a muscle; it cannot break. You know, but it's very, you know, a lot of this record as well. It's, you know, I'm seeing now that it's also a lot about my journey, especially some parts of it, you know. And there has been parts of my journey that I have experienced as very challenging. So of course there is also traces of, you know, scars and wounds and regrets and this kind of stuff, maybe.
Like I let's quote Runa, wounded healer.
Yeah. So it's not so much regret on this. I have a lot of new stuff, and I was playing it for Eric, that sometimes he's playing with me almost all the time now in the lineup with Espen and him. But I was playing one of the tracks for him, and he said, yeah, it's growing old music. Thinking about the lyrics, you know. But everything is a journey.
Yeah, it's a fun, and as each journey has endless path.
Yeah.
You are in a
Yeah,
path
yeah,
one day. It's like a river, like a river. You
but
can, yeah.
what I was gonna say, sorry to interrupt again, I got
No,
my
no,
point.
no, no,
It
it's not
was
so.
that all these love songs, they're written from this perspective of pain in a
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
I'm not bitching it. It can be very, very good, but I'm thinking, what if it's possible to write about experiences that we have experienced as hard or heavy or all this stuff? What if we can write about them and still see the hope through it?
yeah,
Not
exactly.
be the victim in the lyrics, but be
Yeah,
the victor.
there's one band that did it, White Lion with Broken Heart. They put a
Yeah.
small hope in there because they say there is sun even after a broken heart. So they put a little
Yeah,
bit of hope. Yeah.
yeah. I've seen White Lion as well many years ago.
Yeah, he's from Denmark, I think the singer. Yeah, he's from Denmark.
Yeah,
Mike Trump, yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
so basically, yes, that your perspective is perfectly it has a point because of course, and I don't think it's only for broken art, but I think it's all the wounds that everyone, for example, write or just put it like in poetry or in music, in any type of art as well. Like you said, if we see with a different perspective, put it a little bit of hope. Is that journey that you are put it in your album, that you put it like this journey going through the wounds, the scars, the suffering, that then you reach kind of not say a perfect light, because in the light there will be always the shadow. Yeah, it's all acceptance and embracing it. That's all the main things. But because you always have the scar with you, so just look at the scar and say, well, I did it, I can go even forward and I face more stuff. But of course, as well, you have been in the scene. Let's say the scene, because I don't think it's a proper scene, but you have been there, like in this folk scene before, like you were just at
before,
the beginning, before like my first
before,
time, before like for example,
before,
Brunei was out, like because now there is the new wave that I don't even want to mention the words with the V Viking because I don't like this call it like that because I don't think it's not historically correct. I studied history, so it's not historically correct. There was any instrument of that before them, we don't know. And but when I say like more folk and healing way of writing and performing music, you were there at the beginning. So the beginning, let's say that it was starting to get it more known from all the world as well. Because in America, certain bands are known. In Europe, certain bands are known. And if I'm doing this interview, for example, if for the people around here, my country, to as well create this awareness, which
mm,
is that awareness is basically my things. I'm living of creating awareness into people. That's my main
mm.
things in my life. So at the I have to say that as well. Like at the beginning,
Awareness is a good thing.
yes, it depends always which type of awareness you want to create. Is awareness, for example, to accept the darkness and don't escape the problem? Yeah, you're right. That is correct. But it is just like awareness of material stuff. I don't care about it's all about spirituality stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but can you be aware of material stuff?
This is a phone. Oh no.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm speaking to you through one.
Yeah, that's a word, for example. But of course, yes. I mean, um, now a lot of bands are coming out with these things. We are doing folk, we are creating this, we are creating that, which is beautiful, of course. But I think I don't want to say that they are not good or they're doing the wrong job. But I saw like I don't know, maybe because there's some more I don't know genuinity, like in a musician and performer like you, Runa and Shell. That's something that I always saw and I felt. So I wanted to ask you, like, you've like as well at the beginning of you performing, it wasn't, of course, at middle school. That came later. So before
Yeah.
that, how was your performing live? Like, I don't want to say good, just performing.
I mean, we come, all of us, we come from street performance, really, because this whole thing, it comes from we were playing the Viking markets in various lineups, Maria from Heilung, Christopher from
Yeah.
Heilung, we all come from the same thing. And so then you were playing acoustically in front of the people. We literally with Squalder, the band we had with Kjell and Gustav and me, and Maria was over there and stuff. We've literally been marching the streets of Reykjavik, in Viking outfits.
Oh, right, oh yeah, beautiful.
So that's performing wise. That's what we come from. But with this, because I'm also thinking that, and I don't mean it in a bad way, but I mean it in a good way about those I'm speaking about. Because I think when you look at Kjell, for example, and Gustav and Runahild and Einar and Heilung and all this, none of us sound like anything else really.
Yeah,
But then when we started, there was no this, because now you can say it's almost like a genre of music, but
yeah, exactly.
it wasn't there. I remember back in the MySpace days, I had the MySpace page for Squalder. I wasn't very good at it, but I had the password. And then this friend request came from some music project, and I played it because I wanted to check who was accepted. In the Viking scene, there is also a right wing, blah blah. So I want to check who people are, and then I played this music, and I was like, wow, there's somebody else doing this as well. And that was the first time I heard Vardruna, when Einar came out on MySpace with Vardruna. I think there were 3 or maybe 5 songs or whatever it was that he put up there. And I thought, wow, this is cool. Not that we sound the same, but that was the first time I heard that somebody outside of our little group was doing something like this,
Yeah.
The closest is Tuva and Mongolia,
Yeah, that's how. I was going to that as well, because that type of sound of music, and I can say that type of sense of community as well. You can see it, for example, in the Asian country, in the Siberian country, and even in the South African country. That almost of people even forgetting that in South Africa there is as well the tribal, really the rough tribal music, which is beautiful, and all have something in common, that the authenticity that's been kept.
One time in Iceland, that was funny. We had a jam, and somebody, I don't know who it was, somebody was singing some solo, and then some person came up to us after and said, that was exactly like, and I don't remember which one, but she named one North American native tribe, like not Apache necessarily, but one of them, I don't remember which one. I said, that was exactly like them. And we were jamming, we were improvising.
It's all that comes from, I mean, the history that is teach us, because each can say just tribe, because the word tribe, even in Sicily we had tribes. They came all from, they just moved, just population, tribes, they move country to country. Here in Sicily, we have, for example, the small instrument that is being played with the mouth, that I don't know the name. In Sicilian, we call it. Yeah, and that was brought from, northern people in Sicily, and that it's used in folk Sicilian music. So the traditional music, when you see the traditional costume, people playing that, and they say, oh, it's Sicilian. But if you do the historical research, you see that it came from the north. So that for us were the Normans. Yeah.
Cool. That I didn't know.
I didn't know as well. I found out I said, oh my God, what are you playing? This is Sicilian. And I thought at the beginning it was something like, something that maybe, similar. But then I realized that, we have Normans. Normans, they came from the north. So that, all came. Yeah, if you see listen to some Sicilian, even all in the south of Italy. So the main south.
Oh, nice. So after we talk, send me a link with a couple of tracks of some cool Sicilian music.
Yeah, but if you want, I can send you some links of typical. Please don't.
Yeah, do that, please.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's like the Taran, and you will hear as well the Sicilian language. which is different from Italian. It's more
Yeah,
more deep. I think we are the deepest the dialect. Of course, I
yeah.
mean, yeah.
Have you seen that? Since you're Sicilian, but it is Italian politically speaking, at least. You see, I'm representing
CCN, CNN, NCM,
CM. Yeah,
NCM. No, is
yeah,
it?
legendary
No,
Italian kind of this industrial band.
industrial. I mean, in Italy we have like bands. I mean, yeah, we have bands more mainly now. It's like folk. Sorry, black metal bands. That's what
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now
but
it's going.
there's
Yeah, that's industrial. Yeah.
Che. They've been around for, I don't know, their first record I think was early 90s.
Yeah. Before you mentioned that, for example, that when you were playing in Iceland, for example, they told you that sound your sound reminds of the Native American, for example, people,
Mm-hmm.
the indigenous people from United States, America. And that's beautiful because it's like a movement that all like it's like something that big community, not only for a smaller group, is a bigger sound. And having a and I don't, there is a musician that he plays black metal, but he's a Native American, and he puts his tradition in the music, like is the instrument as well in black metal, black braid is called. So I think that's one
Yeah,
of
I've
the
heard about them.
it's
I haven't heard them yet.
amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah,
It's all over the world right now. Yeah, and it's being
yeah,
really humble. It's really, I think, one of the best musician I saw this year. Like the new musician,
wow,
doing
wow.
something new and being humble and speaking about the oppression, which is important as well. Sometimes see
Yeah,
other side. The opposite side of the history as
yeah.
well. Yeah,
And see that you can break out of it. You know, don't
I
let them
mean,
grind you down.
yeah, I mean that. Of course, I mean, saying that of course you were performing like in markets, invited to stage. Then of course you like I told you, I saw you like performing at of course through laptop, unfortunately, in at Microsoft. And how this you can say meeting happens, because now as well you opening the the ritual opening.
Yeah, the
And
meeting
tell
with
me more
the
about the ritual as well, because I want to be prepared, so I will be there next year.
yeah. Just be yourself. That's the best preparation,
Leave
Just be
everything
yourself.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good moment to leave things.
Yeah, I'm looking forward.
So, but it's to talk about the ceremony, or
Yeah.
now we can do the whole story in a way then, because I think it's a fun story. We played in at this thing called what was it called? Eidsivablot in
Okay.
2014, and that was the end of the jubileum of the constitutional law, or
Okay.
whatever you call it in Norway. And Einar and Ivar, they performed this Skuggsjå the first time, and it was Vardruna and Enslaved. And then Folket was booked. I think we were booked because Ingrid, that was also singing in this song Leiker, yeah. She was with us for a couple of years, and I think she was booked, or I mean through her. Maybe she knew Runa, or I don't know. But anyways, we went there with the lineup, which was Kjell and Ingrid and me, because Gustav couldn't make it. And then we played there, and we met, and all this. And then Runa was telling me this story that she was thinking about this festival. So we started talking, and she was asking me about what Viking groups she can get in touch with and all this stuff. So we've been a part of it since the very beginning. And yeah, it's wonderful. I'm thinking Folket or me or us. So, we've been given a festival as a gift. We can come there, and I mean, we're doing exactly what we want to do. And everybody's they're standing there, professional crew, and helping us making it sound so people can hear it, and we just come there and be ourselves.
It's like it's really like Minikersport. There's none. I mean, people from Australia, people from America, from Russia came to Minikersport because I think that these are exactly the words that my friend coming back from there said, because he had my pass because I was supposed to be there taking photos. So he got my photo pass, but he couldn't do photos because he had a cell phone. So he was basically performing at the bonfire. So because it's a percussionist as well, and he told me like, when you will go there, you will come back a different person. Like you will have another. It's like he compared the journey to the journey with ayahuasca.
So
Something like you will experience something new. So that's what really I'm looking forward, because being with people that think like you as well, and they are there without living at home any type of conception, thinking, thoughts, belief, just being there, and like you said, be yourself. Something that no one in the world right now did it until now. Did it. I don't know if it will happen in the future, but
I'm thinking, I thought about it just now, because I know that many people say exactly the same. It's their time frame is before and after Midgårdsblot. And this is great. But I'm thinking for you, as a first time coming there, it's very important to remember that what this is, it's a place for you to be yourself.
Exactly.
that is what it's
the
about.
Core. The core.
Yeah, be you. Welcome home.
I mean, because sometimes, as a especially a person that myself has been insecure, like have a trauma and all these things. Sometimes you have like a barrier, like that you have like wear a mask, I mean barrier, try to be someone else, not try to be someone else, but let's say a limited version of you. Because as well, if you are fully yourself, maybe you are afraid of being not accepted by the people. So you think always like, what they think about me. And I'm started here to be more myself. And of course, since I do something different, people will just. So I think that when I will be there, I will completely break these walls. And there's no better place to do that.
No. And also, remember that there are no walls.
Try to live in Sicily. You will see some walls.
Yeah, but I mean, it's good to have physical walls when it's cold or very warm or something. But all these walls, we are creating them, and we are projecting them on the environment around us.
And that's bad as well, because if you do it with negativity, yeah,
but not necessarily that. Okay, so you have a bit of anxiety or a little bit of this or that, and you're kind of seeing the world in a little bit of a paranoid bubble, and then this is what you will see. It's not necessarily happening,
Yeah.
So I'm very aware of this. I think all these everyday meetings that we have, some people don't have many, but some of us, we have many, and in periods and all this. But when you go to the store, you go to the bus, and all this stuff, smile, look at people, see people.
Exactly.
That is a disease, so to speak, in the Western society, and the Western society is now most of the world. This running around and
one thing is good about, for example, the countryside. I think in general, the countryside of each country is that the countryside is more slow, which allows you to not have these kind of walls, and as well as more without judgment. Even for example, if people think outside that Sicily could be like a lot of stereotypes, but if you go, for example, and I go like every weekend in the countryside, I feel that I can be more myself, even if it's that there is more people that, for example, they are minded like 50s in the 50s. Their minds like, you have to be, like a woman has to be at home, take care of the husband. It's all the stereotypes of Sicilian people back then. But if you go there, even if that, I feel that I can really let more be more myself, and not have all this judgment, because I feel more accepted. But when you are on the city surround, and as well, when you see, for example, even a smile, the people really ask you, how are you? Not because it's just, how are you, just like, okay, just greetings, but because they genuinely want to know how are you feeling. That's the things that I noticed, and that's important because when you are having exchanging of with someone, is as well a changing of energies and as well carrying, which is important. That most people forget that each one of us have different battles to fight.
Yeah.
So, and when we speak, sometimes can be good because we can confront and it can kind of wait out each other. That's how we create a sense of community. Yeah.
And all of us are, you know, when it all comes down to it, we're all battling ourselves.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
The battle goes on within.
Yes.
But so is the victory, you know. And then there's a saying I really like because everybody knows this. It's not how far you fall, but it's how you land. But ultimately, it's about how we get back up.
Exactly. It's how we get back up, and because as well, I think many people tend to forget how many times they get up because we focus that we fall down. So, I mean, we focus that we are falling down, but not so many times we get up actually from our past. Yeah.
A person can stand in front of us, or maybe we've done it ourselves also. We can stand in front of somebody and, you know, say, oh, I've fallen so many times. Yeah, but you're standing here telling me. That means you gotten up at least one more time than you've fallen down.
Yeah,
well, that's good, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, it's the same things that happen. For example, when I try to explain people about during my therapies about the panic attack, say I'm dying, and I said, well, you didn't die, you're still here. So it's that okay, you're falling down because you're experiencing something, but you're still here. So this as awareness. So you see, everything connects to awareness.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course. Like, I mean, we spoke about influences as well, like music journey, and as well. And but as you like, I don't want to say like that if there are really some bands that inspires you, but what is that really like when you compose, when you play, that inspires you? Not just be like from music, it can be from nature, can be literature, can be life.
Yeah, I like to listen to the birds.
To the nature.
Yeah, I like that, and I also like to look into the ancient mysteries and the Gnostic teachings, the mystery teachings.
And if I'm not wrong as well, the name Folket comes from. If you want to explain, because I know the meaning of the name of the project, but if you want to explain it, so people that maybe doesn't know that.
It's Folket Bortafor Nordavinden. It means the people beyond the north wind. And it was a Greek guy, Hesiod.
Yeah.
He wrote about them 700 BC or before Common Era, if you like. And it also came, I don't remember the couple of other ones, but during the next, I don't know, 300-400 years, it was a couple of other places also. So, but I believe it's at the Hyperboreans, you know, which has sadly become a little bit infected because of weird ideologies and political colors.
Let's leave it. Yeah, let's leave it on the corner. That's one thing that, for example, as well in Poison Rock, when I do interviews, I said like, okay, we can speak about everything you want, but leave aside. I mean, political, religion, beliefs. We are just speaking. We are just one, the same person. We are the same. You can be white, red, or yellow. I don't care. We are the same. We speak about a language, common language.
When Folket came to be, you know, this was back in 2007. But there was one thing that came to me at the very, very beginning of Folket, and it's, maybe with Skalder also, but it consciously came in with Folket. Folket is not against, we are for. It means exactly the same, but it has a different energy, you know. We are not we are not against segregation, we are for unity.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's exactly the same thing, but it has a different energy.
Yeah. That embrace.
You agree?
Yeah, embrace. Yeah. That no, I agree completely. Otherwise, I wouldn't start to, because it came so spontaneously. I just start to listen one song. I don't even know who was the first musician that I listened, to be honest. And then I just started to feel better. I start to feel that, and I start to feel the sense of community. Even being in an island, I start immediately to have this, for example, connection. I don't know, from out of nowhere with Runago. We were speaking the same language. We were called each other moon sister because we are a lot in common. So there's this sense of community that I'm seeing that even for people from Italy that I fall in the folk scene. When we met each other, it's like, oh wait, we are. It's like we are even in Italy. We're trying to build a small family, but at the end, it's all one big global effort. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought about we were speaking about where the music comes from and all this stuff and what we're talking about now as well. I'm thinking, when all this started, just a quick comment in a way. As I said, there was no scene, and I'm thinking the reason it sounds like it does is that this sounded like it did when we met. We're just getting better at it.
Yeah. And and I think right now people are more aware about and they are getting more aware as well of the meaning of folk as well. There is not only Vikings, whatever, just that, the normal conception of the music, but just it has a deeper meanings. Like, so yeah. And of course because of right now Zoom is telling me again, it's left that before really ending the interview, I just wanted to if you, of course, speaking about the current project, you released the album in October, I guess, and
September.
September, yes. Yeah. There will be the chance, of course, of seeing performed at Midgårdsblottet, I guess.
Yeah, I'm guessing so.
Yeah, so I would be actually maybe be in the background with the drums.
Yeah. You can join if you want on the.
I mean, I'm coming with Tagalpa and drum, so both of them.
Yeah. So no, but you can join on the blot if you want on the ceremony.
That would be amazing. It would be an honor, amazing. I mean, because it's my work.
Yeah, but I mean,
yeah.
I can say that already. You already get along well with Runhild. I'm hoping she will also be there, but we don't know.
I'm looking forward to see her. Yeah, basically, I'm in love with her. It's just like the first things that I will do is like a hug group, because I'm trying.
Can I tell a story about her?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, before we end, or do you have to do something?
No, we have just 3 minutes left, because after that I don't know how.
Because we had a studio session up in her Seidalar studio at quite early in the recording process of the new album with Gustav and her and me. And I'm thinking, okay, I think this year it's 30 years since I was on the first record.
Yeah.
So I've been releasing records for 30 years, and it's 3 years ago or something. That's one of my absolute musical highlights, being there with Runhild, and she was singing on one of the songs, and I was laying there on the bed next to Gustav. He was doing the recording, and I just felt it in the room. I looked at her and I said, "It's there now, isn't it?" And she said, "Yes." And she just nailed it. The way she's,
exactly. I'm not the only one.
It through. She's one of my absolute favorite singers in the whole world, and she's a fantastic being.
She's
so that moment,
yeah.
But that moment in the studio, that's one of my musical highlights ever. And I wasn't even playing. I was laying there on the bed.
I mean, this summer, there's a huge hug group. Like,
yeah.
You have to do it because I have that with Shal and Runhild, and all together we have these things like left here and there that we couldn't meet until now. So let's do a huge group hug.
Yeah.
And
that's what the whole festival is. So
yeah, I'm really thankful to Benny for this interview and this time spending together, because it really was a nice evening. Instead of just laying in the band and doing nothing, was a real pleasure. And of course, we could do an update before the Midgårdsblottet, seeing what is going on. I'm here open all the time to do interviews and just to talk.
Perfect.
Just to say talking. So enjoy this amazing night, and I will send you the links and everything for the interview when we be released. And really thank you. And
also some Sicilian music.
Yeah, that I will do after we close. I will search.
Yeah, do that, please.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah,
And
likewise.
as always, you people from Runa, then only shall. There's no one like really. I have to say it. And I'm sorry for my friends over there. There's no people like you. You're genuine. You're true. You're really the friends and the people that everyone will have like close to them, because you give positivity. Your vibes are, your way of being is really positive, and give let the people feel better, even without talk, even just talking. Really,
Thank
I
you.
always have to say
So
that because it's true.
we're just being ourselves, you know. We're
That's
just ourselves.
always.
So
Just soon,
take
and
care of yourself, okay?
you too. Bye.
Talk to you
Bye.
soon. Bye.
Bye.